my name's Katie Faye. I am on Weight Watchers. This is what I eat in a day. It is 9:30. I'm already hungry. I usually don't get hungry this early, but it is what it is. I am trying a protein bar today. It is the One Fruity cereal bar, and it's 5 points, which will leave me with 19 points for the day. I mentioned this in my video yesterday, but I'm filming a separate video where I try a bunch of these different flavors. I'm trying to get a good like grab and go breakfast situation for when I travel for work. That way I know one meal of the day I have control over and it's taken care of, and then the rest of the week I can just do my best. So there we go. It's lunchtime. I'm having some taquitos and popcorn, but I did track a point for my popcorn this time because I used a little more cooking spray than I usually do. And I was wondering how many people knew this. So I learned this on Alton Brown Good Eats like years and years and years ago, if you remember that show. But oil in this spray container, it's just regular canola oil. It has 0 calories and 0 fat and all of that stuff because you're using so little of it. So since you're using 1/3 of a second spray, that's how they get away with saying that it's 0. But when you look at the ingredients, it's canola oil and soy lecithin, which is just a non-stick agent so that it doesn't get stuck in the can and it comes out. I usually do not track it because I feel like I use so little of it, I'm not going to track the points. But I don't know, I was just craving a little more indulgence. So after my popcorn was cooked, I spritzed the top of it with some oil and shook it up and then sprayed it some more, and oh my gosh, it's so good. So I tracked a teaspoon of canola oil. My taquitos are still cooking, but lunch is going to be 5 points, and that's going to leave me with 14. Actually, just kidding. Lunch is going to be 6 points because I'm going to do a tablespoon of the On the Border queso to dip my taquitos in. This table is a mess. We're doing some cleaning and organizing, but I have my popcorn here. I have a lemon lime seltzer water as well as a bunch of regular water. I'm trying to drink 3 of these bottles a day. This is my second one. And then I have 3 taquitos with 1 tablespoon of the On the Border salsa con queso. The taquitos, by the way, are Jose Ol. And they're chicken corn tortillas. The flour tortillas are usually a little bit more, but 6 points for lunch, 13 points left for the day. I cooked up another good one for you guys tonight. This is my version of a Taco Bell Mexican pizza. It was so tasty. I loved it. So first thing I'm doing is cooking up some chicken. I set my oven to 400 degrees. I pounded the breasts so that they would cook faster. This is boneless, skinless chicken breast. I'm using olive oil on the breast and then some Mrs. Dash Chipotle Southwest blend seasoning. Seasoned both sides of that and then cooked it for 10 minutes on each side for a total of 20 minutes. Now I am making some homemade tortillas to have my Mexican pizzas on. And I'm doing that with 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 2/3 cup of non-fat plain Greek yogurt, a little bit of salt and pepper, and some garlic powder, as well as 1 tablespoon of butter. And then you mix that up until it forms a dough and it is not sticky on your hands. I've sped this part up quite a bit, but it took about 10 minutes for this to form a dough and get to the consistency I was looking for. Once I got there, I floured my countertop, put my little dough ball in the center of the flour, floured the top of it just to prevent any extra sticking, and then I took a knife and cut it like you would a pie so that I ended up with 8 even slices. Now, if you are just making the tortillas, it is 2 points for 1 tortilla or 5 points for 2 tortillas. That did kind of bite me in the butt a little bit because I planned out this Mexican pizza to be 13 points. And then once I tracked it, I realized that 2 was not 4 points like I thought it would be. It was actually 5 points. But if one point was going to make me or break me, I would not want to be on Weight Watchers. So while I was making my tortillas, my husband was helping me prep everything else I would need for the dish. He chopped up some tomatoes. We finally diced those. I got a little bit of flour on my stove, so I'm just making sure to clean that up, because if you've ever burnt flour on your stove, it does not smell good and it does not clean up easy. So got that going, and I got my pan preheating on medium heat with a little bit of olive oil. You want to use very little olive oil so that the tortilla doesn't like soak up all of the olive oil in the pan and get greasy. And I will warn you, the following footage may be painful to watch, because I did struggle so hard to roll out this tortilla. Because I was using these to make Mexican pizzas, and I knew I wanted one on the bottom and one on the top, I was really trying to get a consistent like size and shape. It didn't happen, but it still tasted just as good. So there's that. I have officially ordered, I make these so much that I have officially ordered a tortilla press from Amazon. It'll be here this week. I actually bought the ingredients for this recipe thinking I would try it once the tortilla press got here. But I just couldn't wait to try it because it sounded good tonight. So that's where we are. Another fun fact about this recipe is that my version of a Taco Bell Mexican pizza ended up being 14 points. But if you wanted to go to Taco Bell right now and get yourself a Mexican pizza from Taco Bell, it would be 13 points. So just keep that in mind. This is not necessarily a lighter version, but I think it's so much more tasty, and it's a lot bigger and a lot more filling than a Taco Bell Mexican pizza. So plus it's just fun to make. I like cooking, and I've learned that through this Weight Watchers journey, that I really do enjoy cooking. I love when I come up with a recipe. Like, obviously Taco Bell came up with this recipe, but I tweaked it a little bit. I put a Katie Face spin on it, and it is so much fun, and it's also really tasty. So, and here I am struggling with yet another flour tortilla. I get better at it, or at least I put the camera on the other end of the counter and speed it up so fast that you can't tell how bad I am at it. And just like I did when I made the chicken bacon ranch quesadillas, I did create this in MyFitnessPal so that I could give you all of the nutrition facts for this. And again, it's created in MyFitnessPal. I guesstimated some of the measurements that I didn't, have exact measurements for. So it's not exact, but it's close enough for government work. And for one pizza, it is 518 calories, 18.4 grams of fat, 43.8 grams of carbs, and 39.9 grams of protein. So you see me doing a lot of work making this dinner, but what you do not see in this film is my husband off camera being my personal sous chef. So not only did he dice up those tomatoes, but he made we were going to have sour cream on these, but he turned the sour cream into a little bit of a crema with some lime juice and chipotle seasoning, and it was really good. So I appreciate him making that. And again, that was just light sour cream, lime juice, and some kind of chipotle seasoning he used. I'm sorry, I don't have the exact measurements there. And then he also made guacamole for us, which our guacamole recipe is 2 avocados. We had really small avocados. About a quarter of a red onion. We used a little less than a quarter tonight because the avocados were so small. And lime juice and salt to taste. And it's just a really simple but tasty guacamole recipe, and I feel really good about it because I get to track it as just an avocado because obviously the lime juice, the salt, and the red onion are 0 points as well. And from here, the bulk of the rest of the recipe is simply making the tortillas. So you put it in the pan. Like I said, this is on medium heat. Once it starts to bubble up in the center, then you know it's time to flip. Then when you flip it, you make sure it's got those golden brown tortilla spots on it. and then you're done. It takes about a minute, 30 seconds to a minute on each side. And then I probably put olive oil in the pan every third tortilla, just when the pan was looking a little dusty, when they were starting to get brown flour in the bottom of the pan, I'd add a little olive oil. And that is truly how easy it is. Once the chicken comes out of the oven, I was in the middle of making tortillas, so I wasn't going to get to it in time. My husband actually took care of this as well. He just took the chicken and shredded it with a fork so that we had shredded chicken, and we have leftover chickens. We actually have enough left over to make this 2 more times if we don't eat the tortillas by themselves, because they're just so tasty. So if we save the tortillas, we have enough to make 2 more. But if not, we can do like tacos or like leftover something. So this is a good meal because, like, even though I think this video unedited was like 48 minutes, which is a quick dinner, but it's also kind of long considering that there were 2 of us working on it. And if I had done it by myself, it would be like an hour and a half cook. However, since there were 2 of us working on it, it's kind of a good meal because, like, you spend one night cooking and then either lunch or the next day you can have leftovers pretty cheap. So after I finished cooking the tortillas, I got my counter ready to start building the pizzas, which is what I'm going to do now. So first thing I did was lay down 2 tortillas because I'm making 2 pizzas. And then I smeared the base of each tortilla with some fat-free refried beans from Old El Paso. These are 0 points for up to half a cup of them. So I could have used more if I wanted to. I'm not a big bean person, so I didn't really. And then I sprinkled the top of each one with some chicken, probably about 1/4 cup of chicken on each one. And then I did 3 tablespoons of the reduced fat Mexican blend cheese. And after I had that cheese, I did 1 tablespoon of the On the Border salsa con queso. I love this stuff. I can't believe it's only 1 point. And that is all of the hot ingredients, quote unquote. So I topped each one with a tortilla, and then I cooked this in the oven, and my oven was already set to 400 from cooking the chicken. So I popped it in the oven for 5 minutes and then put it on broil for the last 2 minutes of the 5-minute cook. Once all of the hot part was done, I topped with the fresh ingredients. So I just put half of the guacamole on each one and tracked a full small avocado for this. So this also, you know, you could easily make it less points by doing less of that if you wanted it to be. A little bit of my husband's crema on top, about 2 teaspoons of it. And again, we used light sour cream for the base, and then sprinkled with some freshly diced tomatoes on top. And then the last thing I did was slice these into 4 slices. And I will say this is definitely a fork and a knife situation. You're not going to be able to pick up one of those slices and eat it like a pizza slice. But it does help that you cut it into quarters, because it makes the cutting it to eat it a little bit easier, if that makes sense. I hope it does. But yeah, super tasty and easy, and I love it. These look amazing, and I am thoroughly impressed. They're 14 points. You gotta be careful with Weight Watchers sometimes. I did the recipe builder, and I saw that 1 tortilla was 2 points. So I built my recipe up and made sure I had, you know, enough points for everything, but 2 tortillas is 5 points and not 4. So I went 1 point over, but that's okay. We got weeklies. That's what they're there for. I can't wait to try this. It looks amazing. Good morning. I left my phone in the other room, so I can't show you, but I wouldn't lie to you. I just weighed in. I lost 4/10 of a pound. So that is today's video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more like it, go ahead and subscribe. I post a lot of what I eat in a day videos. And yeah, that's what I have for you. So I will see you guys later. Bye.